And you're now for bringing us the summaries, and this is your election command center. 8 days to the country's general. And let's bring you this from the headquarters of the Electoral Commission. And the Commission says that the shortage of ballot papers for the upcoming 2024 general election are not limited to the Volta and Bono regions. This clarification follows reports indicating that only these two regions were experiencing such shortfalls. The much anticipated IPAC meeting, which was held today, centered on discussions including political party agents, accreditation, and information on collation centers. However, conversations on shortfalls in ballot papers for the Volta region took center stage. First, here's Deputy Commissioner of Operations at the Electoral Commission, Samuel Tete, addressing the members and giving further details on the detection of these shortfalls.
And so, for the printing of the ballots. However, if you look at what happens at the printing house and what your agents will also tell you in the course of the printing of the ballots, there are issues like problems with the serialization. At times, some of the numbers do not appear and all that. These are things associated with printing. And that's the reason why we have EC staff checking, and we also have agents of the political parties there. And it is not unusual. We have written to the political parties indicating shortfalls in other regions. So it is something which is associated with printing. And that is the reason why you ask checkers as well as the party agents to get to the printing house and make sure that we have the correct number of booklets for each police station within the constituency. So the shortfalls, the commission cannot be blamed, in the sense that you also have your agents there. We are all there checking, and it is, yes, it is not, it's normal to have shortages. You check as human beings when we work. Definitely there may be some shortfalls, and that is the reason why we also have agents there to check. So what I'm saying is that the statistics are there. The statistics are not wrong. If you look, the statistics are not wrong. The statistics are not wrong. It is a shortfall. So if you look at the shortfalls, you will find out that instead of maybe 10 booklets being printed, you get 9 booklets printed. And it is up to all of us to check and then make sure that we have the correct number of booklets printed for all the polling stations. Then, with respect to the constituency collation offices, let me take you through the process so that you get a clear understanding of what is going to happen. At the polling station level, you either get the Form 8A or 8B. That is the parliamentary and the presidential. So at the close of poll, when the declaration of results form, the statement of poll and declaration of results forms, that's the 8A and 8B, are filled, and the agents sign, the presiding officer is expected under police escort to send these two forms to the constituency collation center.
And you heard there Deputy Commissioner of Operations at the Electoral Commission, Samuel Tete. We do apologize for the poor quality of that sound. And we'll go back to that press conference and bring you more of what transpired at that IPAC meeting, really, with the political parties. But there's a statement coming in from the Electoral Commission on the same issue, and I want to take you through that. It's titled Reprinting of Shortfalls in the Ballot Papers for the Volta and Bono regions. The attention of the Commission has been drawn to its memo written to the political parties and some printing houses, informing them about shortfalls and some discrepancies with the ballot papers dispatched to the Bono and Volta regions. The said memo is circulating on social media. We wish to inform the general public that as part of its transparency and accountability arrangement, staff at the regional and district levels are directed by the Commission to review and verify all ballot papers received by them to guarantee their accuracy and to ensure that they tally with the ballot statistics provided to the printers and political parties. This is a standard procedure of the Commission. It is important to note that this additional verification process unearths any issues with the ballot papers and enables corrections to be carried out ahead of the elections. The essence, as noted above, is to ensure full accountability of the ballot papers and to make sure that ballot papers sent to the regions are accurate. It is important to note that in the spirit of transparency and accountability, the Commission, that is the Electoral Commission, notifies the political parties to ensure that the agents observe the reprinting of the shortfalls of ballot papers and the destruction of faulty ballot papers. The statement continues to say that the question is who discovered these shortfalls and who is requesting for a reprint. In the Commission staff, it is the Commission staff at the regional level that discovered these issues and reported back to the Commission as required by them. So that is directly dismissing, really, that statement coming from the NDC that it was their agent that identified the discrepancies. The EC is addressing that indirectly here. Continues to say that it is the Commission that ordered the reprinting of the shortfalls and informed the political parties. The Commission has nothing to hide. Why would the Commission inform the political parties in writing if it has something to hide? For the benefit of the general public, similar shortfalls and discrepancies were discovered and reported back to the Commission by our regional directors upon inspection of ballot papers dispatched ahead of the December 2024 election. The shortfalls occurred in Greater Accra region, Western North region, Upper West region, Western region, Bono region. I read the last phase of the statement coming from the Electoral Commission to you. It says the political parties were duly informed in writing and reprinting to cater for the shortfalls were carried out. Why the misleading information about shortfalls or ballot papers for only the Volta region? If the Commission had to hide it, would not transparently call for a repair of ballot papers to make up for shortfalls? The Commission urges the general public to disregard acts of mischief by persons whose sole objective is to malign the Commission and sow seeds of mistrust and doubt. The Commission's memo in circulation demonstrates the Commission's resolve to operate above board in a transparent and accountable manner. Let me bring you that last paragraph here, and it says we entreat the general public to carefully read the Commission's memos which may find their way into the public space in order that they are not swayed by persons whose sole agenda is to cause fear and panic and tarnish the image of the Commission. Thank you. Signed by Samuel Tete, the man you just heard some minutes ago, and he is Deputy Chairman Operations at the EC. So let's speak to Adam Agbana. He's parliamentary candidate for Ketu North. It's one of the areas that has been affected in the Volta region. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you and good evening, Beatrice.
And we spoke to you earlier this morning after 11 a.m. on Election 360 on TV3, and you raised your concerns about this very issue. The question that was asked was whether or not the NDC was going to take part in that meeting that was expected to resolve it. The meeting has been held. Are you satisfied? Where do you stand?
Well, Beatrice, let me first say that I am very surprised at a statement from the Electoral Commission creating the impression as though they discovered the discrepancies in the presidential ballot papers sent to my constituency and the affected constituencies. This statement, besides it being very ridiculous, also raises lots of questions about the competence of the Electoral Commission. We have something we call ballot accounting. How do you engage a printer? You give them specific number of booklets to print. At what point did the Electoral Commission take delivery of the printed ballot samples or ballot papers, deliver them to the regional level for onward distribution to the constituencies? And you tell us that you only discovered the discrepancies at the regional level and you expect us to take you serious as a commission.
So you dispute that suggestion, as it were, in that statement by the EC?
The truth is simple. The truth is that the Electoral Commission is on a mission. The Electoral Commission is on a mission to aid the election rigging machinery of the NPP.
But is that a fair comment to make? I mean, it says that
it's caught by our agents, and that fact must be accepted.
So that might have been in your constituency, but you can't say that of all constituencies across these regions that are affected.
Actually, at what point was the discrepancy? I mean, did they discover the discrepancies? At what point? What happened to the ballot account? Maybe for the purpose of, excuse me to say, some people who may not have insight into how elections are organized or electoral matters. Because imagine you are a printing firm or TV3 is a printing firm. I engage you to print specific number of booklets for me. When you are done with the printing, I took delivery of the booklets that you printed for me without counting. What happens to ballot accounting? So something is missing in the equation that the Electoral Commission is putting out. But in all of these things, I want Ghanaians to know that the NDC is very, very vigilant, and we have eagle eyes on the Electoral Commission. Indeed, you cannot go to bed with your enemy and have even one of your eyes closed. We are wide awake. We know all the machinations. We know all the things that they are attempting to do. We can see it even in their utterances. So you're calling
the EC your enemy. I mean, how? EC is supposed to ensure that...
No, I didn't. I'm not saying that the EC is my enemy. I'm using an adage that you cannot go to war or go to bed with your enemy and afford to have your eyes open. And anyone who is an enemy to free and fair election is indeed an enemy to the NDC.
So that's why I'm asking you, are you indirectly, yes, that's an adage, but are you indirectly saying that the EC could be an enemy and therefore you're keeping eagle eyes on what's going on?
Beatrice, I am saying that anyone not interested in free, fair, and transparent elections is an enemy to the NDC.
I want you to hold on, Mr. Agbana, because Dr. Bosman Asare, who is a Deputy Commissioner at the EC, also addressed some of your concerns there. I want you to listen to him, and I'll come back to conclude.
I wish you put him on the line. Dr. Bosman Asare was my lecturer. I wish you put him on the line.
Okay, so he spoke
I have a few questions for him.
Okay, he spoke
All
at the...
I'm saying is that
Mr. Agbana, I just want you... Forgive me.
Very careful how...
So, Mr. Agbana, I just want you to listen to Dr. Bosman Asare. I'm not ending our conversation, and then when you do that, we'll come back to conclude our conversation. You have the opportunity to conclude on your thoughts.
In the performance of their functions. Per CI 127, Regulation 23B. CI 127, Regulation 23B allows the Commission to appoint officials to assist the returning officers. In the spirit of that, the Commission has appointed these collation officers to work under the supervision of our returning officers. So the collation officers will work under the supervision of our returning officers, and as all of us may be aware, the returning officers also work under the supervision of the district officers. The Commission advertised the position of collation officers in the newspapers 16th August, in the graphic, 16th of August on page 12. We advertise for applicants with backgrounds in statistics, accounting, finance, and other related quantitative areas to apply. A team from the head office of the Commission, including the executive commissioners and commission members, directors, and our officials in the regions, as well as officials from the Ghana Statistical Service, constituted the interview panel. Those who were selected are well qualified for the job. The Commission will undertake training for them to ensure that they deliver on election day. The reason why we engage them basically has to do with to enhance the integrity of the collation. Their main function is to do electronic collation of the polling station results for both the presidential and the parliamentary on an Excel format provided by the Commission. They are going to work side by side with our returning officers, but independently. The ROs will do the manual collation and compare with that of the collation by the collation officers. And again, they work under the supervision of the returning officers. Collation at the constituency centers begins after the close polls at polling stations at 5 p.m. The Commission provided its officers some guidelines for places that are suitable as collation centers. Number one, they must be in a secured neighborhood. They must have entrance and exit points. They must be spacious. They must be spacious and walled. They must also be well-lit centers. Additionally, our officers were supposed to collaborate with the district police commanders to ascertain the qualities of these particular centers. As a result of that, some of the centers that were used in 2020 did not meet the qualifications for 2024. Or for the regional collation, all of them will take place at our regional offices. So the collation at the regional level in the voter region will take place at home.
Dr. Bosman Asare, the Deputy Commissioner at the Electoral Commission. Adam Agbana is still on the line with us. Mr. Agbana, you just heard Dr. Bosman Asare taking us through the processes and, of course, giving additional assurances. With just 8 days to the country's general election, I believe the NDC and particularly yourself would want to at least have some level of confidence that the EC would do its job as much as possible.
The likes of Dr. Bosman Asare managing your elections. You have the likes of Apia Hini appointed, a known MPP communicator appointed to the Electoral Commission. You certainly do not expect us to go into the elections having confidence in the Electoral Commission. Again, this is the same Dr. Bosman Asare who in 2020 said on live TV that the NDC as a political party is dangerous to democracy. When you are a referee and you make such pronouncements on one of the parties participating in an election, you certainly do not expect us to have any modicum of trust or confidence in him and the entire commission. But away from that, we're talking about a commission that is painting a certain picture of transparency in recruitment. And this is the same commission after their so-called advertisement for vacancies, whether collation officers or electoral officials. We are discovering widely across the country that for most of the constituencies, key and 7 incumbent MPP polling station executives are either ballot issuers or presiding officers. And a good example is Honorable Minta Akando's constituency, where dozens of them are now serving as agents. Here in Ketuno, I have meticulously perused the list. I can point out known activists, but for whatever purposes, we decided to just put in measures to ensure transparency at our own level. And that is the only reason why you do not hear us come to the media crying, because we have seen a commission that is so determined to retain power for this field NPP government.
Mr. Agbana, you keep making this comment, and I don't think it's fair for you to keep painting that sort of picture for the Electoral Commission, especially when you know that at the end of the day, if things go sour, people are going to take your word and it is going to degenerate into something else. I think that as a leader, you do not think that people will expect that you would, speak certain words that would rather unify, of course, be vigilant, rather than to divide and to cause doubt in the minds of people about the referee that we have, as in the country has, going into this year's general election?
This is the comments by Eric Edem Agbana, a parliamentary candidate, cannot be more injurious to the integrity of the electoral process than the conduct and the bias with which they have conducted themselves over the years.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you very much, Edem Agbana. He is parliamentary candidate for Ketu North in the Voto region, one of the areas or constituencies, as it were, affected by these ballot shortages and discrepancies. We also do have on the line with us Haruna Mohammed. He is Deputy General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us. Hello, Mr. Mohammed. Can you hear us? Hello.
Hello.
Mr. Mohammed, good evening. You're live on Hot Edition on Shri FM 92.7. Can you hear us?
I can hear you now.
Thank you very much for joining us. First off, let me get your thoughts on...
Your line is breaking.
Okay. I hope you can hear me. All right. We'll have to call Mr. Haruna Mohammed back to try and resolve that challenge. Whilst we wait to correct that line to Haruna Mohammed. Okay, so he joins us live again now. Mr. Mohammed, can you hear us now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Excellent. All right, so I wanted to get, first of all, your thoughts on these discrepancies and the ballot shortfalls. We're just 8 days to the country's general election. Obviously, people expect that the Electoral Commission should have done better than this.
Thank you, Beatrice. First and foremost, I would say good evening to your cherished listeners. I think that the Electoral Commission of Ghana is a human being just as we have every human institution. I have not heard the discrepancies that has been discussed. In fact, I'm traveling on the road and I've just been called to join this all-important discussion. We all, as political parties, have had several meetings with the Electoral Commission. We have registered a number of dissatisfaction with regards to how certain activities are being channeled out. With respect to this particular ballot issues, I think that the Electoral Commission has been very honest to us in many of the circumstances. There are several elections that you have gone in. This detection of inaccuracies and ballots not being up to has not been traced until election day. So no matter the fact that they should have done better, I think that they have been very transparent in making sure that telling us that this is not up, this is how we are accounting for that particular data. As I speak with you, I just met the Electoral Commission and the military security personnel moving ballot papers across the eastern corridor from Tamale to Yendi area, and I've seen the NDC vehicle following it. But they will come on radio and they will be telling you things as if somebody has sent those things in the dark. All of us have to contribute our quota to ensure that there is transparency and there is honesty in this particular election. So we, as a political party, would also call on the Electoral Commission to make sure that most of these things are made available to the political party so that we be in the know to ensure that nobody is given an undue advantage over the other.
So what I hear you say is that you are okay with how far the EC has handled the matter?
I am saying that the EC has always informed us as political parties. There is a statement out there, and all stakeholders, including the third force, that is the media, you have this particular information. Can you remember in any election that there is a shortfall that the Electoral Commission has issued a statement to inform the general public?
I think everybody appreciates the fact that the EC is being honest, as you put it, or is giving us information, as you put it. But again, if we keep hearing that the Electoral Commission, the people who work there as human beings, as we are, and of course we heard Samuel Tete during that IPAC meeting, which was covered live, also saying the same thing. I mean, this is an institution that is supposed to get facts correct, is supposed to get the technical things correctly going into this year's general election. So if you, the institution, you are getting these things wrong, you can't. I mean, how do you expect people to react to this?
You see, Bridget, as you are on radio and mostly on television, I will maybe speaking on.
Hello, Mr. Mohammed. I'm sorry, your line is breaking. If you could just be a little stable.
I am saying that as you are on the media cycles, there are many situations that most of some of the things that is done in the media sometimes is avoidable. One of the instances that I can't be speaking on air, then the name that is put under me may not be my name. It will be a different person's name. This is something that arguably nobody expects that such a mistake should happen, but it does happen all the time. That does not amount to the fact that the media station is incompetent or it is not due diligence. Most of the time, some of these things happen. We are saying that the Electoral Commission should up their game. But the fact that people want to use these particular errors, use some of these particular lapses to say the Electoral Commission is not transparent, I am pointing to the fact that there are instances we have elections, many of the elections we have had, we have never gotten a report from the Electoral Commission relative to communicating to us that there is a shortage, and they are making sure that they are making steps to make sure these things are done.
So the director,
communicating to us.
The director of election.
For me, after transparency, the Electoral Commission has been very transparent.
Be transparent, but get your facts right, because you're the one supposed to ensure that every vote is counted and is counted correctly and attributed to the right political party and the right person. And that is the concern of people.
Pushing out.
In fact,
I'm saying that no matter how, because what they are doing is avoidable. However, you cannot amount that to say they are not transparent.
So now this is what the NDC is saying about. This is what the NDC is saying about this. The NDC's Director of Elections, Dr. Mane Boama, as well as the parliamentary candidate for Ketu North, Edem Agbana, whose constituency is equally affected in this ballot shortage or shortfalls and discrepancies. The two are describing this, challenge, as it were, with just few days to the country's general election as a deliberate attempt by the EC to insist on ensuring that the MPP wins this year's general election.
You see, we are not relying on any administrative laughs. We are not relying in any activity of the EC to favor us. Remember, in 2016, we were not in government. There were instances that the Electoral Commission had failed in a number of things that they had to do. lo and behold, this particular communication that has always come out to inform various stakeholders was not even in applicable in those particular instances. But we went ahead and won the elections. What I'm saying is that we all know that when they were doing the district level elections, there were instances that some regions has to stop. Do you get the point? That elections doesn't go on in those particular areas because of shortage of materials. I am saying that the Electoral Commission should up their game in making sure that some of these particular avoidable things are being cured. And I'm saying that the Electoral Commission has improved upon that, because what happened in the district level election, it is what is informing them to check and double check and cross check to ensure that shortages does not occur on election day. So for them to be able to see it now, relative of leaving it to election day to see it, that can cause chaos, that can cause confusion. The Electoral Commission has done well. I think that you would agree with me.
I want you to hold on, Mr. Mohammed, because with just 8 days to the December 7 polls, the Global Info Analytics has also predicted that the leader of the main opposition, NDC, John Dramani Mahama, will win the 2024 presidential elections with 52.2%. Let me bring you some more details and I'll let you respond to that or react to it. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, the Vice President and candidate of the governing New Patriotic Party, is predicted to secure 41.4%. Alan Kwejutre maintain 2.5%. Nana Kwame Bediako, also known as Chada, 3.0%, and others 0.9%. For the parliamentary election, NDC currently lead and likely to win with 150 seats out of the 270 plus. The NPP is likely to win 99 seats, with 1 seat likely to be won by an independent candidate, and 29 seats in a toss-up state. Too close to call with just 8 days to the polls. How do you react to this?
Bridget, they can continue to win from this particular research that they have commissioned themselves. We will win the elections at the polls. Mark my words and record me down. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be declared the President of the Republic of Ghana. We are going to have an absolute majority in the House of Parliament.
So you're not perturbed at all?
Less than 148 seats. I am putting it down. Record me. I am telling you.
You're being recorded. You're not perturbed at all?
I am saying that we are going to win the elections. So they can come up with any research at all. They can come up with any convenience output. We are saying that we are going to make sure that we do everything legally possible to win the elections. And that is why our flag bearer has demonstrated that he has been able to move around all the 276 constituencies vis-a-vis the candidate of the NDC. We have done so much better in all sectors of the economy. And the Ghanaians doesn't have short memories, as the NDC perceives them to be.
We'll have to end it here with you. And that was Haruna Mohammed, Deputy General Secretary of the governing New Patriotic Party. You heard him there saying that the government has performed better in all sectors, especially the economy. So let's bring you some other people's reality. And the coalition of former NAPCO trainees has threatened to take legal actions against the government should it fail to pay arrears owed the over 65,000 members. The Nation Builders Corps NAPCO program was launched in May 2018 to provide skills and experience to young graduates in an effort to tackle the country's rising unemployment rate. And you're aware that unemployment is one of the issues that will determine who becomes the next president of the country. Well, take a listen to Nana Berima Asamoah, patron of the coalition of former NAPCO trainees.
Now, our current deplorable, pathetic situation with even our colleagues who are home, I'm ready to fund their activities, including legal fees, to take this government to court. That will be our final result. Even if in future this government is out of power, we will still drag those leaders to come and respond to critical concerns.
And you heard then Nana Berima Asamoah. He's patron of the coalition of former NAPCO trainees. And from the political issues on the campaign trail, let's bring you this one. And Greater Accra has recorded 1,032 suspected cases of cholera. Confirmed cases are 70 and 7 deaths. In the central region, 1,016 have been confirmed, or cases have been confirmed, and 77 or have been recorded, with 77 cases confirmed and 9 deaths. Also, the 315 suspected cases which have been recorded in the Western region, out of which 47 are confirmed with 5 deaths. In the Eastern region, suspected cases are 22 with 2 confirmed deaths, 2 cases confirmed, but that nobody in the Eastern region has died so far out of cholera. Well, Dr. Kwame Amponsa-Achiano is the programs manager of the expanded program on immunization. Listen to what he's been saying on this.
A few weeks ago, we had an outbreak of cholera for which the Honorable Minister issued a statement. The Director General also issued a press release on that. We've been fighting, doing a lot of things to curb the outbreak. We now have an additional arsenal, which is the oral cholera vaccine, which we want to use for the first time in the country in parts of Central region, because that's where the epicenter of the outbreak is. It's a phased introduction of the vaccine as an add-on to the existing interventions. That's the wash interventions, which include water, potable water, proper sanitation, proper hand hygiene and personal hygiene. And so it's an add-on to that. But when you have a problem, you want to marshal all forces. So we are adding that there's a phase introduction starting from 3 sub-districts within the Ewutu-Senya East. Come tomorrow, which is 30th November, we are starting for children 12 years, 2 years, and adults. So anybody, or should rather say persons 2 years and above, within those 3 sub-districts in the Ewutu-Senya East Metro. We have additional vaccines on the way. When we receive them, we send them to where about 2,300 suspected cases, some confirmed. But of course, when you have an outbreak, once anybody presents with symptoms that look like cholera, you pick it as a cholera case. So that's what we are doing in order to err on the side of safety. We have widened the basket to catch a lot more diarrhea. Some may not be cholera, but as I said, because you want to err on the side of safety, we are including all. So 2,300. A few have lost their lives. We are doing a fatality of about less than 1%, which is good for us. Unfortunately, people are losing their life, but at least we are reducing the deaths. Okay. And part of the intervention using vaccination is to quell the outbreak and make cholera a case of the past.
And you have Dr. Kwame Amponsa-Achiano. He's the programs manager of the expanded program on immunization with the Ghana Health Service. Some more here on Hot Edition. Civil society organization, the Forum for African Women Educationists, FAWE, has called for an end to social challenges, including cultural barriers that prevent girls from continuing education beyond secondary school. Well, this group has, as a result of this, announced the second phase of its transformative program targeting young people from marginalized communities in sub-Saharan Africa at an event in Accra. Listen to the board chair of the Forum for African Women Educationists, Professor A.C. Sutherland Ade, giving some more information on this.
We need all our people to be part of this because the world is going in the direction of technology. So what we, MasterCard has done with the continental body is to select 7 countries, Ghana being one of them, to support a program over 7 years where we will be sponsoring marginalized young people, so 80% girls, 20% boys, and then also people with disabilities and refugees, to get into the technical universities and to have a situation where we will have, by the end of the program, a group of well-trained young people
Well, that was the Professor Efwa Sutherland Adi. She is the board chair of the Forum for African Women Educationists, a chair of vice chancellors of all technical universities in Ghana. Reverend Professor John Frank Ishen also said that the chancellors are ready to adhere to the constitutional mandate of eliminating barriers to education, particularly for women.
Regardless of gender, disability, economic background, or location, have the opportunity to realize their full potential through education. In the context of our technical universities, this requires us to prioritize policies that enhance inclusivity, provide support for disadvantaged students, and ensure that all learners have equal access to the opportunities and resources needed to succeed for success.
You had the chair of vice chancellors of all technical universities in Ghana, Reverend Professor John Frank Ishan. And you're still here on Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7, some 48 minutes past the hour of 5. When we come back, we'll bring you the latest in business news. Don't go away.
Results.
Today, we thank you very much for your invaluable service to this great company, and we wish you well on your retirement.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Happy retirement, Lay.
Thank you very much.
So are you staying or you are going back to Ghana?
I'm going back home, of course.
Wow. You really built?
I've got a home at Lakeside Estate.
Really?
Lakeside Hills is a dream come true, a community designed for all stages of life. Whether you're a growing family needing more space, a young professional looking for convenience, or someone seeking a peaceful retirement, Lakeside Hills has it all. With 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes, there's something for everyone.
That's impressive. That's what I'm looking for. I have to start saving towards this.
See you back home.
Lakeside Hills, it's not just a place to live, it's a place to thrive.
Hello, good evening and welcome to the business segment on Hot Edition. Coming up tonight, Bank of Ghana maintains policy rate at 27%, citing inflationary pressures. We'll bring you details. I am Bismarck Kausa. Thanks for your company. To our very first story, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has kept the policy rate unchanged at 27%, citing concerns over elevated inflation driven by high food prices, utility tariff adjustments, and past exchange rate pressures. The inflation target horizon has been shifted slightly forward to the fourth quarter of 2025. The following 3 Business News Desk report has more. Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Ghana has maintained the policy rate at 27% as inflation pressures persist. In its latest statement, the MPC highlighted steep increases in food prices, earlier currency depreciation, and rising utility tariffs as key drivers of inflation. Despite the slight strengthening of the cedi in recent months, average inflation for the next year is now forecast at 20.1%, up from 19% in the previous forecast. The committee also adjusted its inflation target timeline, projecting that inflation will fall within the target range of 6 to 10% by the fourth quarter of 2025 instead of the earlier estimate of the third quarter. The MPC believes maintaining the current policy rate will help stabilize inflation expectations while supporting economic recovery. And that was a 3 Business News Desk report on the Bank of Ghana maintaining its key lending rate at 27%, citing persistent inflation pressures. Moving on, the Cybersecurity Authority has announced that it will, from 2025, begin to crack down on businesses operating in the cybersecurity space without proper accreditation. Director General Dr. Albert Beatrice Adu disclosed this at a ceremony where certificates and accreditation were presented to the third batch of cybersecurity service providers, establishments, and professionals who have met regulatory compliance standards.
That means it's basically an offense that can be punished either by a fine, either by administrative penalties. In some cases, there's even a consequence for prison terms between 2 to 5 years of imprisonment under Section 95 of Act 1038. In other words, the authority has this legal tools available. And I think we've started sending out regulatory notices to those who are not compliant. Because we need to also protect you. What will define, separate you from those who are not compliant? Regulatory notices are out. And I think the legal processes are also being prepared. If we do not get a collaboration and a commitment, after more than a year of engaging collaboratively, the authority will not hesitate to resort to the legal remedies to ensure that there is compliance.
Director General of the Cybersecurity Authority, Dr. Albert Beatrice Adu. Moving on to the built industry, and First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afari, has emphasized the crucial role of a quality built environment in attracting investment opportunities for property owners. Speaking at the Ghana Institute of Architects 2024 Annual General Meeting in Accra, he lamented the fact that many Ghanaian homeowners are unable to profit from their properties due to poorly planned environments that decrease the value of their properties over time.
Building and maintaining quality infrastructure creates employment opportunities in the construction sector. This will attract businesses, tourists, and investments, and ensure that property owners can always fall on such investments in times of difficulties by creating a lot of derivatives and refinancing opportunities for other critical investments. Sadly, building or buying a property in Ghana has almost become like a sunk cost. Once the money goes into the property, there are very limited opportunities for owners to tap into the appreciating values of these properties to finance other aspects of their lifestyles. I strongly believe that enhancing our built environment will significantly open this space to leverage the huge potential of its inherent economic benefits.
You heard the First Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Maxwell Opoku-Afari, stressing the need for quality built environment for homeowners. Meanwhile, President of the Ghana Institute of Architects, Foster Osai Akono, has been explaining that what constitutes a quality built environment and how Ghana can promote same.
Quality, so you talk about good roads, you talk about communities that are livable, communities that one can walk without running into vehicles. But here we see all the sidewalks taken over by citizens for commercial activities. You have kiosks and other things on them. Good environment will have space for play by children, even by adults, place for gathering. I'm talking about parks. But in Ghana, most of our parks have been taken up, either for other commercial activities, among others. Have buildings that are very good, buildings that are smart, buildings that promote the health of the individual, building that does not emit volatile organic compounds which affect the human beings. So this, quality built environment is made up of all these attributes.
And that was President of the Ghana Institute of Architects, Foster Osai Akono, explaining a quality-built environment. And that will be all for the business news on Hot Edition with me, Bismarck Ausa. For more business stories, please log on to 3news.com. Bill Deshan is here for the sport. Do stay.
Hello there, good evening and welcome to the sports segment here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Deshan. Starting from what happened last night, Manchester United defeated Bodo Glimt by 3-2 thanks to a brace from Rasmus Højlund and a goal from Alejandro Garnacho. Now, that was Ruben Amorim's first home game at Old Trafford, and he was happy with the reception that he got.
The first thing is that half of the stadium doesn't know me. It doesn't really know me. I came from Portugal, and I did nothing for this club yet. So the way they make me feel at home, it's so special. You know, it's not after something; it's before something. This is something special, and I will keep this to the end of my career.
He would indeed keep this to the end of his career. But as I mentioned earlier, Rasmus Højlund, the striker for Manchester United, scored a brace for the side, leading them to that victory. And Amorim had this to say about his striker.
Improve the connection. I think he has to improve more because sometimes he gives too many touches when he holds the ball. But it's very important for us because when we are in a low block, he is the guy to hold the ball, it connect for transitions. He did that very well. He has that characteristics. He was aggressive in the goals. He was aggressive in the box, and he is a quality player. I think he scores the most difficult goals. He has a lot to improve. Is the same for every player, but he did a great job today.
He did a great job. That was Ruben Amorim on Rasmus Højlund, his striker at Manchester United. In other games, Tottenham drew 2-2 with AS Roma, and Tottenham's head coach Postecoglou had this to say after that game.
It's frustrating, particularly when they score so late. Good game. We probably should have put it to bed a lot earlier, and missed some big chances. And 2-1, you're always keeping them in the game. So disappointing not to see it out.
What do you think was lacking then to not really capitalise on those chances you're talking about?
Just a little bit of composure. I mean, we hit the post 3 times. A couple cleared off the line. It was that kind of game where, we kind of knew if we got the third, the game was done and dusted, but sort of kept them in it.
Yes, that was Ange Postecoglou, Tottenham's head coach on this game. Bringing an end to the sports segments here on the 3FM Hot Edition. My name is Bill Deshan. We have Beatrice and the rest of the team will stand by with a lot more.
The press statement before you, you will notice that they are very minor shortfalls. And the question somebody will ask is that, well, not everybody goes to the polls anyway. You cannot expect 100% turnout. So maybe forget about the shortfalls and do without it. But no, as a commission, we believe that we have provided ballot statistics to account for every single voter on the register. And so it is important to provide ballots for every single voter on the register. And so this is what happened. It is basically because of the accountability mechanisms that we have put in place that you are able to identify these shortfalls. You quickly inform the political parties in writing so that together with EC staff and the BNI, the police and national security, they go into the printing houses and print these shortfalls. And sometimes it could just be one booklet of 10. But we still require the printing houses to operate their machines to print that one booklet of 10 sheets. And so this is the mechanism that has been put in place. And it is robust. It ensures that every single person on the register has a ballot in that person's name. I can assure you that this robust system in place would ensure that every single voter who goes to the polls on the date for special voting would have a ballot to enable him or her cast his or her vote. Again, when we come to the allegations of having MPP agents at some of the collation centers, I'm yet to receive the formal complaint about this recent one, but I can assure you that since the registration exercise, we've had applications from various parties complaining about certain officials who have been appointed to certain positions. It's important to note that by law we provide the names and images of all these officers to the political parties. And this allows them to be able to scrutinize the list and to write to the commission where they have challenges. And so this is not one-sided. We've also had complaints from the MPP side saying that certain persons who are the collation centers are NDC. And what we have done, and the evidence is there, since the start of this year when we started the registration, is to set up committees to investigate these claims. And the committees, when they have their findings, they write to the commission. Of course, there has to be evidence because anybody at all can get up and make claims. And I can assure you that 100% of the time when these claims are investigated, the parties are satisfied. It is in the same spirit that if any party, and particularly the NDC, has issues with these officers, all you need to do is to write to the commission, list their names, and to say we have issues with these officers. And right away, the commission will set up investigative committees, as it has done since we started the registration exercise, and have the committee investigate and provide its findings to the commission. And if it is found that these persons are linked to any party, and in this case, if it is found that they are linked to the MPP, we can assure you that their names will be struck off the list. And so this is the procedure. And it's not, yes, you can complain, but the right thing has to be done. And the right thing is to follow the law, to write to the commission, provide the names of these persons, provide the evidence, have the investigation committee set up, and let them delve into the matter and come up with their own findings. And we expect that the NDC will do that. And if the committee, as I said, finds these people to have links with any political party and the MPP, their names will be expunged from our records and they will be replaced. The issue of Baku is very dear to us, and over the last few weeks we've had discussions with the security agencies about Baku. Just last week we had over a strong team of various security agencies, I believe from the, was it this week? Oh wow, all right. From the Election Security Task Force, representing all the, the agencies on the task force. And we held discussions about the concerns of our staff and the voters at the various centers in the Baku area. I'm pleased to assure you or inform you that we received assurance from the security agencies that they were well prepared and that they were confident that the elections in Baku will go on peacefully. In that respect, the special voting will take place in Baku come Monday, the 2nd of December, 2024. Again, special voting would not be counted, and the box is not even opened As you know, the ballot box is sealed, and you should visit these centers to see for yourself. So the ballot box is sealed when everybody puts their vote in. And these sealed ballot boxes are transported to the police armory. And you know, they are guarded by the parties until, you know, such time when they are picked up. The party agents, they are there 24/7. They don't leave the place at all. So if anybody tells you that they know the votes, they must be a magician to be able to determine what is in the box without actually counting it. But I can assure you that the votes from the special voting exercise, which takes place on Monday, the 2nd of December, will not be counted until Saturday, the 7th of December. Even then, they will be picked up and they will be sent to the constituency collation centers, and they would be counted there. Again, there was an issue about the figures that were altered during that changed during the 2020 election. I think that if you would take a look at it, you would realize that the percentages of the candidates didn't change. Yes, I think there was a mix-up between the total valid votes cast and the total votes cast. There was a swap. But however, the percentages did not change. This year, we would like to assure you that we've put in place robust mechanisms to ensure that at every point in time there's verification. And that's why you see it, verification, 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 along the electoral process. And yet you find the whole essence of having those processes is to catch anything that is any anomaly. You know, and so we intend to put that in place as well during the collation, and just to catch any anomaly and to make sure that every I is dotted, every T is crossed. And of course, we've put in place a robust mechanism to ensure that, you know, the votes come in a timely manner. But we do know that we have certain communities that are, you know, in some islands and so on. Of course, we've put in place, you know, arrangements to ensure that they are able to bring their, you know, votes in a timely manner, and we do hope that we should get the votes. I'm not sure about the piecemeal approach that you are talking about, but it's important that at every step of the way you brief or provide regular updates to the citizenry so that you don't keep them in suspense. But we like to assure you that we've done everything in our power to ensure that there's verification along the way, and the processes there would ensure that we do not change any votes once the announcements are made. Any of the results once the announcements are made. Is that all? Oh, the expectations. Well, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Let's wait patiently, and let's ensure that all the processes, because you are concerned that we shouldn't change it. So let's take our time. Let's take our time and ensure that all the I's are dotted and every T is crossed before the results are declared.
Please, my question is not. I ask about whether the printing for the shortfalls will in any way affect the special exercise.
No, but I answered that.
And the fact that since the media's accreditation is not yet in, how do you monitor the process of that?
I'm surprised that the media's accreditation is not yet in. Because for every single media house, and I'll be addressing that later, and maybe that's why, but it's important to note that we worked extensively with the Ghana Journalists Association. Can we have some silence here, please? We worked extensively with the Ghana Journalists Association and GIBA, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, to develop the list for accreditation. And you know, the media houses were, you know, supposed to provide photographs And I must say that to date we received some 6,845, I'm not sure, but a little over 6,800 photographs. And we have provided accreditation for some 6,000. Tomorrow, the Ghana Journalists Association will pick up the rest, and I believe they will start the distribution. But it's important to emphasize that the Commission has not restricted media houses to any of our centers, and we'll come to that. And of all the 40,000, plus polling stations, if the media presented 1 million names, we are prepared to do accreditation for 1 million people to ensure that your lenses are in every corner of our center, starting from the polling stations. But let me inform you that we have provided out of the 6,845, I'm not sure, about 6,800 photographs and requests for accreditation submitted to the Commission by the Ghana Journalists Association and GIBA. We have today provided them with 6,000 accreditations. And so we entreat you to go back to your respective media houses. I believe that the GJA would ensure that these reach you before Monday. I think the remaining bit, which is some 845 or so, will be made ready, will be readily available tomorrow. We are in constant communication with the leadership of the GJA, led by Mr. Albert Jumfor and and the GIBA, led by Mr. Cecil Sumpamils. And I believe that the remaining accreditation will be made available tomorrow to enable you go into the special voting centers. Thank you. Does that answer your question?
How do you rate your preparedness?
I think we are prepared. I'm not going to go with your ranking, but the Commission is poised. I think I did say that at the start, that we are poised and ready to conduct transparent, fair, credible, and peaceful elections come the 7th of December, and of course, starting from the special voting arrangements that takes place on the Monday, the 2nd of December. Thank you.
We'll come again. This is part 1.
Oh, yeah. Oh, who said that I have one talent?
That's confirmation.
We are going to do the one on accreditation.
We have some few questions.
I think 2 more, because we have another press release conference coming up. Pardon? Cecilia.
I want to know if there has been a discussion between these the Energy Commission.
ECG.
Sorry, ECG. In case of light activity, so if there's any discussion or any arrangement for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. My name is Noble. I work with TV3. And I'd like to find this out. So, coming on the back of the serialization challenges over the past couple of days, the motions about voter reading, but this afternoon we're told it's not only limited to the voter reading and areas affected as well. My question is, does it not what does it say about the competences of the printing houses that were selected to print the papers and what went into their choosing? Because these are things that would have been avoided.
To you.
My name is Vanessa. I was wanting accreditation for purposes of clarification. My media house had an accreditation where you can scan to compare the accreditations from the Electoral Commission. We had that. Is it different from getting an accreditation to the coalition center? It's different.
I will come to that. Okay, we have a little discussion on that. We'll come to that shortly.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so I think, as I said to you, young man from TV3, I said to you, these could have been avoided. But I believe that if in any human endeavor where you are printing 18 million plus, ballot papers, if we say that world over you will not have minor issues with serialization, then it's up to us, because you are bound to have these things. Even in advanced democracies, you are bound, you see that some of these issues occur. Advanced democracies such as the US, you find that some of these issues occur. So it's not limited to, to Ghana alone. I must say that the printing houses that print for us have done so since 1992. They have the competence, they have what it takes, and even prior to, and it's not just to say because they have been in the system since 1992, you should allow them to print. But prior to their starting the printing, we had a delegation, a team, from the commission visit all printing houses to ensure that their readiness, to ensure that they had the equipment, they had the personnel, and they had security arrangements to ensure the security of the ballots and so on. So this is the method, this is what went into choosing the printing houses. It's important to note that the commission advertised for the printing in the newspapers as well. And these printing houses, which had printed for us since 1992, were applied. And following their selection, those visits were done to determine, their, their suitability. And so if we have one or two issues with serialization occurring, we do not think that that undermines the integrity of the printing house. Yes, in some cases you expect better from them, and it's with the issue with the, the destruction of the printing house, you may expect better from them. But as to say that out of 18 million votes, everything should be 100%, I mean, I would wish so. I would wish so, but if there's anywhere that can happen, please tell us, and we will be sure to go there for the next printing arrangements. Thank you. With the power, yes, we've written to the ECG, the electricity, the boss of the ECG, and this was done when we, especially when we started preparing our BVDs, and what we did was to provide them a list of all our polling stations across the country, the constituency collation centers, and they've given us the assurance that we would have electricity for the before, during, and after the election. And so it's good that you've raised this up. It's something that we'll raise again with them, but there's a formal letter that was written to them to request that they keep the lights on for us until every vote is counted and until the elections are declared. I don't know whether that is...
The police report that my name is Godfrey GBC Review. The police earlier reported that they've resolved a broken electoral material box in Florida. This issue has not been addressed today. What's the assurance that there will be anything like that in any of the polices?
It's not been addressed because it's not an issue. You pick up ballots from Accra, and these ballots, as I say, are, they are monitored. It's put in a track where you have the security agencies and you have the political parties accompanying the ballots to the armory. If in the process of loading, and I'm sure you saw some of the pictures where you put the ballots on the floor, and mind you, they are not gently placed. You take them out of the car, boom, you are throwing them out. And a seal, maybe it's a defective seal, and it's one seal. Mind you, there are many seals on the ballot. You have the parties put their seals on it, the EC puts their seals on it. So even when one seal breaks, all the other seals are intact. But this is done, you take them out in the presence of the agents and so on, and there's one seal broken, but all other seals are intact, and the ballot box is intact. And I believe that you've seen the report from the Ghana police saying that, they looked at it, yes, the ballots were intact, and therefore it is not an issue. Why are we expecting perfection? There's no such thing that when one seal breaks in the course of it, the whole world should come to an end. I mean, yes, it's important to ensure that the ballots, there's integrity. But ordinarily, these are not issues that should even come to the fore. Because you go in there, you inspect. Yes, if you see the seals have been tampered with and the ballots have been destroyed, there is cause for alarm. But you have the statistics of what you took with you as you accompanied them. So you should be able to know readily that, oh, this one, they've torn the packaging. But where in the course of it, but because many seals may be broken, but I don't think that should be an issue. I don't believe that as a commission, we don't believe that that should be an issue, especially when you are monitoring the process, you are ensuring that the ballots are intact. Yes, if the seal was broken and all other seals were broken and you saw that the ballots had been tampered with, definitely those ballots will be withdrawn. But you've seen from the police reports that there's no cause for alarm. So, thank you. I'm looking forward to the perfect system that you have. We strive for perfection, if there's any such thing. But you see our efforts on a daily basis to remain above board, to do everything up to global standards, and to try. So you try for perfection. But if we are to run amok because a ballot, the seal of one seal is broken from, and thankfully the seal was found right there on the floor by the bag. Let me help you with the process when the ballots are taken from the printing houses. Before, when you package them, the parties put their seals on. So you may find 5 or 6 seals or more on the ballot. So yes, if one breaks, you can still find out that how did this happen. But there are other seals. And, it's not sent there without the parties. You have the arrangements. You inform them about the timetable for movement. And so they prepare and they accompany the ballot. So we're all on the way. We are watching each other. And they lock the car. They lock it. They are there when the vehicle is locked. So you go there and they're throwing these things there. We are throwing it there. A seal can hit the ground and immediately break. I don't believe that this should take the attention of a nation. Thank you. We'll be with you shortly. I think we want to address the issue of accreditation. Yes.
So this is part 1. Part 3, okay. We had 1. Understand. So 3 in 1.
You're tired, we know that. But just bear with us. I think we should be with you shortly. I think that accreditation issues mean a lot to you. Yes, so we would have that, we want to address them with you and to assure you that the EC has no intention. And let me get my presentation. Yeah, we told you we are organizing papaya for you. Why would you? In actual fact, we had tried to get our caterer to prepare jollof for you this afternoon. Yeah, but they indicated that it was a bit late. But I believe that the papaya is even better. So don't worry, we'll give you, we are organizing that. So you have to wait a bit because I know they may place the order and everything. But just give me 5 minutes, I'll be back.
The Electoral Commission and said that if the NDC or MPP or any political party thinks that people participating in this year's electoral process belongs to the other part of the divide in terms of has political interest, they should write officially to the Electoral Commission and those individuals will be fished out and replaced. The EC is also concerned about Boko and will put measures in place. Reiterated the point that special voting vote will not be counted until on the day of election, which is December 7. I was telling you earlier that the Electoral Commission boss temporarily ended that press conference because she asked for 5 minutes to address the accreditation issue. And she had said earlier that the EC had given about 6,000 accreditation to the Ghana Journalists Association and was wondering why journalists were complaining they didn't have that. So that's why she had to suspend that press conference to address that. Of course, you had a talk about the seal breaking on some ballots and the fact that, or ballot boxes, and the fact that we cannot attain perfection. And so these are minor issues. It shouldn't bring the war to an end. And that will be it for Hot Edition on 3FM 92.7. Thank you very much for joining us today. My name is Beatrice Adu. Log on to 3news.com for more news. Have a good evening and do enjoy the rest of our programs.